When you look at it, look at
Yeah,
players in
yeah.
the history of the Pro Bowls, I think when you look at their success scoring, their offensive line is underrated.
Yeah, I think you gotta give credit where credit is due, and their offensive line is really good. Protecting Jared, he's done a nice job of distributing the football, and that's one of the things is they've been scoring points. It hasn't been obviously one of their issues. It's they're putting points on the board, and a little bit of a hot streak here recently.
You're going to see Aiden Hutchinson this week. When you think back to the draft process and getting to know him, what kind of stands out about him, and not only as a player but as a person?
Well, one, great person. Got a chance to meet him in person, and just a great human being. He's a good football player. And it's going to be exciting. Obviously, watching him all week this week, but watching him in person and just understanding he's got a bright future.
Watching his tape, what kind of stands out as on the pro level? I know you watched the college tape, but
I mean, obviously moving him around a little bit. Playing obviously the edge position and also inside, and 5.5 sacks, I believe, and getting pressure, and just doing the things that we thought he could do. He's going to be a really good player in this league for a long time.
Offensively, they've scored a lot of points. Last year, they weren't scoring as many points. What have they changed this year to do that?
I just think they're comfortable with their system. Jared is obviously playing, confident with the guys around him. Obviously, there is some injuries. Some guys have been kind of banged up, but he's done a nice job of just executing their offense, and just they're opportunistic when the time comes, really, and and that's what you need, and the ability to run the football, and a couple good running backs in there, and just I think just playing together and being around for a second season helps.
I know Dan Campbell said earlier this week they don't know yet if Jamison Williams will play. Wide receiver-wise, what do they present?
Well, if he plays, I mean, he's obviously a talented player, and he's got speed, and he's long and athletic, so that's a challenge, obviously. But again, just an opportunistic team. They're making plays and playing with confidence, and they play with a lot of energy. You see it on tape. They fly around, and be a great challenge for our football team.
How are you feeling about Travis's chances of playing this weekend?
I feel good. It's going to be day to day, with him. But I want to make sure that he's 100%, before we stick him out there, and he'll go through, some of the walkthrough portions of practice today.
How important are these practices going to be for Henderson if Etienne can't go?
Well, they'll be important, spending a little extra time with him, Coach Parmalee, get him ready to go if need be, and he's a veteran guy. He's played, and it's just a matter of just understanding a little terminology. We won't throw the whole thing at him, but give him a series of plays that he's comfortable with.
Coach, you talked about the leadership within this team being good. You have the right core of players. What have you seen from the guys to keep that confidence level growing, not only through the losses, but obviously through the wins as well?
I mean, I feel like we've talked a lot about this, but these guys, nothing really bothers them. Number one, they've stayed the course through the hard times this season. Some of the tough losses we've had, and they don't seem to get too high or too low. Obviously, they're excited because the win Sunday, and that's something we can build on. But the leadership of the team has really been really good that way. Even from the way we practice, the way we meet, challenging the guys that way, and you get this late in the season, there's not a lot that I can do to really motivate the guys. I mean, we're 13 weeks in or something like that, and it's a matter of them taking it upon themselves, and you lean on the leadership that way.
Are you surprised at all that they've been able to stay this even-keeled? I mean, it's easy to just throw it away, basically, with how the season has gone, sort of bumps in the road.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Character of the football team, character of the guys, the type of men that we have in that locker room, it doesn't surprise me at all.
One of your players last week, unsolicited, mentioned, and this is before the Ravens game, There's no, no reason why we can't go 10-7. There's no reason why we can't, run the table. Obviously, tough long shot scenario. Just wondering, but how does it make you feel when players have that kind of mindset to not ever give up, even when things look bleak at 3-7?
Yeah, first of all, appreciate the confidence that you showed us in us. Listen, anything's possible. I've been around this league a long time. Anything's possible. Any team. I mean, Detroit's in a situation too where they could go on a little run here and affect the outcome of their season too. So, yes, we understand that it's a 1-game season. The importance of this game, and we've got some. If you look at our schedule, we've got some really good opponents down the stretch here. I mean, we still got 3 in our own division. So, I love the confidence the guys have. And listen, I don't want to take that away from them either. If they believe that, then we've got to get more people believing that, right? Coaches, players, everybody. And we understand that it's a 1-game, it's a 1-game season, 1-game mentality, and anything's possible.
It's My Cause, My Cleats week. You're going to have some special shoes on. Can you talk about why those are important to you?
Yeah, it's going to be great to have, with pancreatic cancer, obviously, brings awareness to the what I dealt with my brother and going through that with my family. And so my wife and I, our whole family's going to have shoes on, to help, bring awareness to that and obviously remember my brother, during this time. But everybody's got something that they can sort of hang their hat on, a cause of some sort, and I think it's great that the league, gives the players, give the coaches, organizations a way to sort of, honor those that whether it's through a charity or someone personal or personally in their family that they can honor, during this time. I think is a really good thing.
What kind of undertaking is that, getting the whole family involved?
Not much. Just ask their shoe size.
Did your wife handle it all?
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Are there going to be
my
any
wife's a
team
trooper.
wearing them, or?
No, they're going to be back in Louisiana and stuff like that. Yeah, no, my wife handles all that. She's a trooper.
I know you had asked about Hutchinson already, but how much did you get to know him during the draft process?
A little bit. It's tough to really get to know guys during that process. It's so short and brief, and then getting even a top 30 visit, in your building and things like that. It's still not enough time to really get to know somebody. But I'll say this. I mean, this kid was professional. The way he acted, the way he spoke, the way he handled his business, when he was here. You just know guys like that are going to have success in this league.
19 in a row against NFC, 19 straight losses to NFC teams. I know you don't talk about that, but have you ever been part of a streak like that, like a weird streak?
I don't think so. I mean, you're right. I don't get caught up in a lot of that. I mean, different team, different times. But yeah, I mean, those are real numbers, real stats, and those are things I don't talk to the team a lot about. I mean, we're just focused on the Lions and preparing to get ready to go.
Are you better in the red zone? I mean, from early in the season where there were more struggles, the numbers say you've gotten better. Where are you with where your red zone production is?
Taking care of the football, number one, I think can increase production. Obviously points, outcomes, drives, and things like that. We're gonna pride ourselves, like most teams, got to run the football down there. It gets hard to throw the ball with some of the structure that the defenses possess, and some pressures and different things. And it's been a slow progression, I think, as the season's gone on. We can always get better down there, and we have to get better, down the stretch here. But the number one thing for us is taking care of the football, which we've done in the last couple games.
They're really good in the red zone. Is that Travis Goff and being a veteran quarterback?
Yeah, it's that, and just trusting the players and putting them in, positions to be successful. I mean, that's just what the red zone is. You take care of the ball. The ball's out on time and rhythm, and you got to be accurate and make plays.
A couple days removed as far as Chad and Devin in the rotation, and Chad playing 100% of the snaps, I think Devin was like 37%. How much of that was situational going against
How's
the
that
Ravens?
100%?
100% of the snaps for Chad.
And 37%?
Yeah.
That's 100%?
So it's 100% for Chad,
Oh, for Chad, 100%.
37% for Devin.
Got it. In
So-
what package? What series?
That's overall.
Overall?
Overall.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. So that's per your stats, guys. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying the facts. But no. So my question is, how much of that was the Ravens versus how much of that is what we'll see going forward?
A little both. A little both. The Ravens, it's a different run style than what most teams, conventionally do. So there was going to be some extra linebackers, in the football game. I think moving forward, I think Chad did enough in that game to give him another opportunity, and still making sure that Devin's ready and prepared and still having the rotation available if need be. But I think both players are in a really good place, especially headspace right now. They're young players, long season, 6 games left, and we got to make sure that both of them are well prepared, as we make, these next 6 games.
And then also, in addition to Chad playing as much as he did, Rayshawn playing more of that nickel, the third linebacker sort of position.
Again, it was a 3 safety look, so you saw, Andrew, in there playing more safety, which put Jenkins down in the box. And it's just the unique style that Baltimore presented.
Can you elaborate your relationship with Dewey, just in general, what he means to this team and kind of his role on this team?
He's been through a lot with this team. Been here now for a little while and hasn't had the success that he probably had hoped for. And, he's one of the guys that, he's a core leader on this team, and he wears his emotions, on his sleeve too. And it's great to see. He's very passionate about the organization and his players and teammates. And he had a heck of a game, Sunday. Came up with a big turnover, in the red zone, and plays great on special teams. We ask him to do a lot. Just means a lot to the organization, to the team, to the locker room, and just a fine young man.
Guys like him, Cam Smith, guys who have been here for a couple of years, like you said, have been through a lot with this organization. Can you kind of just tell how hungry they are to kind of get this thing turned around?
I mean, you see it. You see it with those guys. I think there's a belief that they can get it done. Obviously for whatever reason we haven't, but you look at a win like Sunday and the way we won, how we won. It wasn't perfect. There were mistakes in the game, but to finish that game, right? That game could easily. You're one turnover there at the end of the game, going their way, and it's a ball game, right? The fumble that Trevor had, and we haven't been able to get those back. In that game, we did, and we stayed on the field. We made plays down the stretch. We learned how to finish, and that's what those guys. That's what it means to those guys to be able to do that and see that, and just kind of feel that emotion, after the game, and that's what. That's what you're trying to get to, each week.
You called that rollout play on the goal line again for Trevor?
Yeah, it was a different one.
Yeah, but same kind of.
Similar.
Yeah. What was your confidence level that it was going to be incomplete if that first read wasn't there, like you said?
Confidence level was high.
Okay.
Yeah, it was high. We had a nice conversation.
Was Agnew's touchdown same play that you ran in Philly?
Same type. Yes.
I didn't know if everybody else's assignment.
Yeah, it was a very similar play. Yes, it was. Yeah, very similar play. Yeah.
Doug, do you remember a training camp? The end was kind of ragged, and it was the last period, or like maybe 45 seconds left, and you blew it in early. And Dewey started yelling at the coaches, "We need our reps too." He didn't want to go in. And do you remember that at all? But is it also indicative of the kind of emotion that he brings even to a training camp?
Yeah, I don't necessarily remember that situation. I'm sure that happened, but yeah, I mean that's the type of player and the passion, the excitement, that he brings to the team. And listen, he's hard on himself. He wants to be perfect in every way possible. And he's right. I mean, the guys want to get their reps in too, especially those guys that don't get a ton of reps with, maybe the starting units or whatever. But I think that's just a great indication of who he is and how much this organization means to him and this team.
You've had Tyson shadow some receivers this year. St. Brown, he's still young, but has he earned that sort of respect where you want to put your top guy on him?
Of course, he's definitely done a nice job in games and made plays, and somebody you gotta be aware of. And if Jameson's back as well, those two guys out there, I mean, it makes a tough combination. But if the game plan warrants that Tyson follows him, then that's what he'll do. And we got a lot of confidence in Tyson if that's the case.
It's tough to call two 4-7 teams playing a big game, but each team has something to play for on Sunday. Philosophically, in front of the room, do you call it a big game? Do you point it out? Do you need to? And how do you handle this week with something on?
I don't necessarily use it in terms of a big game. I do believe that the guys understand that it is a big game because it's the next one, and just like them, our goals are right in front of us, and this is a good football. They got what we have as a staff have to get across to our players that we're playing a good football team, and I think they're saying the same things. They're playing a good football team, so we're kind of the same in a way. And I heard Coach Campbell talk about that the other day. That very similar teams and both playing for a lot, and so I think just from that standpoint, you could probably consider it. In the big game category.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
Doug.
Appreciate it.